Now, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to amble or perhaps mosey on over to houseofdecline.com. And also, you're going to want to subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/houseofdecline. That's Haus of Decline. I say this because I am now part of the House of Decline team, along with another partner. My name is Jack Southern Man. And okay. I'm a Big Texas Furry. I'm Jack Southern Man, the Big Texas Furry.
I'm Clint Lockbottom, and I'm also a Texas Furry. Represent
a Big Texas. You want to say it's a Big Texas Furry?
Well, I'm not so big. I'm a little. My persona is a teeny tiny squirrel.
Well, yeah, you want to be. I'm always cradling you and, telling you how teeny tiny you are.
That's correct. I like to be cradled and told how. So I'm a teeny tiny Texas fur.
Yeah, you're a teeny tiny Texas fur. But really, you are large in spirit.
Thank you, Jack Southern.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Clint.
Clint Lockbottom.
Clint Lockbottom is your name. And what a wonderful name that is. You're from the Odessa Lockbottoms.
That's correct. We go way back in Odessa, Texas, which is a part of Texas. I believe it's in the ass of Texas.
Yeah, that's it.
You know that old phrase, deep in the ass of Texas?
Deep in the ass of Texas. That's what I say to people as they're rimming out my asshole. And, I have a little hatch on my fursuit, or you lift it open and it makes a creaking sound like the Doctor Who door. It goes... And then you can just do whatever you want to my ass.
Well, if you heard that crash in the background, that was my little buddy. My little buddy squirrel knocked my whole fishbowl into the garbage can. And I'm not going to stop recording, but
when you say your buddy squirrel, did you mean your friend who is also has a squirrel persona?
No,
or
he's a real squirrel. He's a real squirrel.
Okay, you have a real squirrel.
Of course he's real.
Okay, so how many squirrels do you have, Clint? I didn't understand.
Well, I live in a hostel. I rent out my own room, and they have an agreement with them. And the squirrel comes up in a little basket that I have attached to a pulley rope outside, and he comes in and visits me. His name is Francis. And
Francis the squirrel, yeah.
He just gets into all kinds of trouble in my room here.
He's having all sorts of japes and jibes.
He does. And when it comes time for bedtime, I lower him down in his little basket using my pulley rope. And usually we don't have a problem, but he's jealous because I'm spending all my time podcasting. But it is convention season.
It is absolutely convention season. And we're talking about the Big Texas Furry Convention here.
Indeed.
Well, there are four Big Texas Furry Conventions that we're gonna wanna draw upon. Of course, there's the Texas Furry Fiesta.
Mm-hmm. My favorite.
That goes down for usually in March.
Yeah. Coming up on that one real soon. It is my favorite. They have their shit together, okay? Some of the conventions on this list do not.
Yeah, we're going to be talking smack. We're going to be talking Big Texas Furry smack on some of these Big Texas Furry conventions. And my personal favorite, I want to say the Alamo City Furry Invasion 2022, because, there's nothing like that San Antonio flavor.
Well, what I like about it is that it is still patriotical towards Texas, and they do a full recreation of what the Alamo is like.
It's true. They have a Davy Crockett. He's an actual raccoon, and he's wearing a raccoon skin hat. Like he did, and he's knifing Mexicans who are also furries, but they're like, in Chihuahua furry costumes, because it's, we've had complaints about that. They actually asked us to change that due to the racism. But we thought it was in good fun, to have the, Santa Anna's army portrayed as various Mexican animals.
We don't pick anybody's costume for them, so they did it themselves. Got my little buddy Francis right here now in my arms.
Got your little buddy Francis right there. He's a tiny little guy. As we all know, being a furry bestows upon you magical animal communion powers, not unlike Dr. Doolittle or the Texas version of Dr. Doolittle, Dr. Fat Little.
Now why are you going saying that doctors in Texas are fat?
I'm not saying that. That's his name. That's his goddamn name. He's Dr. Fat Little. You never had Dr. Fat Little when you were a Big Texas child? You never heard his stories about how he would sing, "If I could talk to the animals, eat all the animals, I would freaking eat all the animals." He wanted to talk them, to coerce them to get in his stomach. And it wasn't a vor thing, even though as furries we know about vor. We've heard about vor, okay? We are long storied historians of vor. Or Histvorians, if you will, as they call that in the furry community. We know back in Texas, you want to talk about the vor community in Texas in the 80s? Look, we were struggling. We didn't have any vor festivals, but they've since been absorbed by the furry festivals. And you'd think, they would not like that, but, vor people love getting absorbed into stuff. So it wasn't a big deal. So, there are all these little enclaves at the furry festivals. There's your vor guys. There's your inflation guys. There's your macro guys.
Well, the one problem I have with the Furry Fiesta is, of course, their weapon policy.
They don't allow you to open carry at the Furry Fiesta.
They don't, and this is Texas. And
this is fucking Texas. This is a big criticism I have of the Furry Fiesta.
This is Texas. We are open carrying furries. It's part of our costume.
It says you have to be maxed and vaccinated. That is insane. The fursuit protects you from the virus. You will not get infected. I'm already wearing a 200-pound duck costume. I don't need this shit. I'm a big sexy duck. I'm a big sexy muscle duck with a big duck dick. And frankly, that's filtering out all the viruses.
You're right. And I am a teeny tiny squirrel with a very large AR-15 that I carry on my back.
That's it's sewn into the costume. You can't take it off.
It is functional though.
It is very functional.
Very, very, very deadly. It's a deadly weapon but above all, it's a tool. It's a tool for keeping the peace. And
absolutely. And no one's going to be protesting our furry convention.
Because you know what? If I see someone who has some attire on that is not maintaining a PG rating, then I need to hold them and arrest them, because this is a family-friendly furry fiesta. It's the
this is a family. Apps. Even though my duck character, who I call Lord Duck, that's his name. Because, I take on a king in yellow sort of presence when I wear the costume. I feel very regal and also disturbingly regal, in fact.
You are at the very least aristocratic.
Definitely aristocratic. An aristocrat. But the thing is, I have a big duck dick. That's part of the costume. But I put a sheet over it. I put a sheet over it because it's PG. We all want to keep it. We all want to keep it down, but there ain't no laws against bulges. I'll tell you that much. That's a Jack Southern man guarantee. There ain't no laws against bulges, and you can find that on my website.
Now, I'm coming into another problem I have with the rules here for the Furry Fiesta. Okay, any attire that gives the appearance of being military or law enforcement attire is not allowed. Now, as a teeny tiny squirrel with an AR-15 who is also in the Space Force, because I'm going.
You're in the Space Force?
I'm in the Space Force. I am exploring the world beyond.
Congratulations, man! That's huge, Clint. I'm so glad for you.
I'm going to be planning the first furry convention in orbit.
Oh my God! Well, congratulations. Will masks be involved?
Of course not. Except masks, the normal big ones.
No, the normal fursuit masks. Right, but you won't have to put a mask over your fursuit mouth.
We've covered that. No, you don't. It's double indemnity. You don't have to do it twice. You're already wearing a mask.
Here's the thing: is you're going to need to make extra big astronaut suits for the fursuits as well, because they're going to have to fit around them. Space. This is something, we have a tradition of space exploration in Texas. Houston, we have a solution. I think that's what we're saying right here. We have a solution to all the loneliness. People said years ago, they were saying yiff in hell. Bitch, we're yiffing in space.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm pleased to announce that despite all of the pressures and tensions of war in this world, that our furry convention in outer space will be with the Russians on the space station. And we have one of these Russians from satellite. His name is Vlad Suxilov. And he's coming from the space station to give us an update about being the first Soviet, they're not Soviets, they're Russians.
You cannot kill the Soviet Union, my friend.
The first
you
Russian
cannot
furry.
kill Vlad Suxilov, and you cannot kill the Red Wolf, which is my character.
Wow. So glad you're joining us here from Satlink, as they say.
Yes, the Big Texas Satlink. I love it very much.
Now, you are on, of course, the Texas space station, which is different from the United States space station. But Texas, because it was its own country once, gets its own space station, and which we have been sharing with the Russians, even after that messy breakup that America has had with Russia recently over some little minor...
We don't need to mention that. We don't need to talk. All we need to do is have a good time. You put on your car seat headrest records. Did you know that car seat headrest got his start at Furry Convention? He is Furry Convention man.
I did know. That's obviously, one of my favorite bands. As a furry myself,
Yes. And did you know car seat headrest actually from Russia? He was Russian up, designed to make American men weak, but it only made them strong. It made them much stronger, and that is why we are losing war in Ukraine.
And now it looks like we're getting actually a new person jumping in on the line from Ukraine, a representative of the Ukrainian Furry Convention Society. It's Igor Dixon Butts.
Hello, I am Igor Dixon Butts. The first thing I wear, I have a fursuit that is yellow on top and blue on bottom, which is the opposite of Ukraine flag, because, we do things a little crazy here in Ukraine furry community. We get a little wild, They put American flag upside down, we put Ukraine flag upside down, because we get a little wild. But we're still proud of our country, and we do not like the Jews. So,
I noticed, Igor, you have a insignia on your outfit, which actually is contrary to the dress code for Furry Fiesta of Texas. You're not allowed to have any armbands or symbols perceived as hate symbols, and I see 5 different ones.
This is not Black Sun. People mistaking this for Black Sun all the time. What it actually is my asshole. That is how my asshole looks on my fursuit, I bend over, I take my pants down, I have a little black sun on my asshole.
Igor...
It's not a black sun. Forget I said that. It's not a black sun, actually. Not a Nazi.
Igor, thank you for coming in and giving us fair and balanced. But we're gonna get back to Vlad over on the space station.
Okay, we'll get back to Vlad, my friend. My friend, I'm glad you took that Ukraine dog. And, that he was dressed literally as a dog, so that, that was accurate there. We are related because I am the more aggressive. I am not domesticated like Ukraine NATO pig. Well, he wasn't a pig, he was dog.
Yeah, all right. You can't confuse. You're going to get the pig faction, which are mostly furries from North Carolina.
Yeah, a lot of North Carolina, they're into pig play, pig stuff, Pig men. Yeah, are you making fun of my accent now? You're doing mirroring for my accent?
I'm doing mirroring a little bit, I think.
Well, you thought I would take offense, but I am overjoyed! The Red Wolf laughs. The Red Wolf laughs with you and with society. So at the Big Texas Furry Convention, you are planning, Clint Lockbottom, I meet you at Big Texas Furry Convention. I believe I met you at Stratosphere.
Stratosphere, yes.
Stratosphere in Houston.
That's where many of the NASA furries go. Because what a lot of people don't know is 90% of the people who work at NASA also attend furry conventions.
It's just the thing. The space exploration plus furries, it goes together, you know? They were experimenting on Laika back in the day. But what really they were doing is supplementing their own urges to be dog. That's what the Russian scientists were doing. We liked Yuri Gagarin because he was a tiny little, you know, he was an animalistic Enkidu-like animal man. And, you know, that's why we sent him to space.
Now, I have to ask you, Vlad, about, it's maybe a sensitive question because your president, Vladimir Putin, has recently made some statements about the furry community saying,
Not
quote,
my president. Not my president, I'll tell you that much.
You think he's like a big orange, like, douchebag? Something?
He's a big orange Cheeto. He is our own Cheeto. He is called the Russian Cheetah.
Recently, Mr. Putin has said he wishes to muzzle and leash the furry community. How do you respond to that?
Well, you're talking my language, Vladimir. You know, as a fellow Vlad, you know, I don't think you'd find a lot of furries that mind that, huh? We would actually be perhaps sexually enticed. What are you going to say? You're into leather play? What are you going to say? That you're going to put a pump into my asshole and then start inflating it and then I blow up like a big balloon? You're speaking my language here, Vlad.
Love to be expanded like a balloon. Love that.
That's, you know, we're the Big Texas Furry Convention. You know, we do it bigger in Texas, and that's why we're all expansion fetishists.
We have Jack. So glad you're back. Vlad was cut off by the Russian censors who did not like that answer.
They assassinated him. He's dead
blew
now.
up the
they went to
space
space. Yeah. They diverted. They blew up the Big Texas. They blew up the Big Texas space station.
Yeah.
But it's okay because that's a tax write-off. We didn't really care about it. The only people that died were Russians. Europeans
and now
is of no matter.
Greg Abbott can spend another $1 billion on a new Texas space station.
You know, being from Odessa, Clint, you would think that you would be pro-Ukrainian in all of this.
Oh, well, Texas names, a lot of Texas cities just have names because one way they used to name cities in Texas was they would spin a globe and then put their finger down and then like, that's what we're naming it. It's Paris, Texas. Oh, we're going to name it Jerusalem, Texas. These have nothing to do with the countries that the names originated from. It's literally random.
Well, that's how I got the names for my other fursonas. You know, Lord Duck is just my primary sona. I got lots of stuff going on. For example, my fursona of Czechia, Kazakhstan, Kazakhstan, Texas.
Okay,
that's one of my personas. That's one of my fursonas because, you know, I spun a globe. I looked at Czechia, beautiful country. It's called Czechia now, just in case you weren't aware. It used to be called the Czech Republic, but they changed it to Czechia. And I thought, what a beautiful name for my finger to have landed on, my big Texas finger to have landed on a small Texas country like Czechia, for example. And Czechia, Kazakhstan, you know, what Czechia, Kazakhstan is he is a snowmobile. And you didn't think furries could be machines, but they are.
How exactly is that working if you're a furry machine?
If you're a furry machine, you don't have fur. You have parts. You have gears instead of fur.
Okay.
You have metallic outer coating, but still, you know, you cut a shapely figure. If you were a shapely snowmobile, as Czechia, Kazakhstan, Texas is, you know, you have a pec line. Get a good pec line in there. You know, get a good ball line. Get a good line for your snowmobiles, as I call them. You know, because snowmobiles are very exotic where we're from in Texas. Don't get a lot of snow here. So that's like a spaceship to us. And, you know, we just blew one up. So, you know, we wouldn't do that to a snowmobile. Because they're exalted. You know, we see one and it's like, oh, it's an unexploded nuclear bomb. Guess we better worship it.
Right. Much like the Hindus worship the cow We
Absolutely.
worship the snowmobile, and also we slaughter cows here in Texas, even though we're furries, because we love burgers.
We love burgers as well. You'd think there would be more vegan furries,
Are there not?
but not here in Texas.
I was thinking most furries are probably vegan. If you are a vegan furry, email us at houseofdecline@gmail.com.
Well, for the vor ones, it's probably not a problem. I wonder the incidence of vor furries who are vegan. Or is that like, did they keep it separated? I assume they would want to consume the cow whole and not in pieces, not ground up into small, easily consumable chunks, as we tend to like it in Texas.
We do love it ground up into consumable chunks.
Yeah, I love chunks.
You know what I like to do when I'm browning up some cow chunks?
What you doing when you're browning up some cow chunks, Clint?
Of course, I'm putting it in tomato sauce. I love my tomato sauce.
Yeah, tomato sauce, of course, yeah.
It's the only way I eat ground up cows in tomato sauce. And I put it on noodles, Italian noodle style, tomato sauce. And
Yeah, you're making a big old bowl of Texas spaghetti.
That's right. I put beans in it, like they do in Cincinnati. But I don't do Cajun seasoning. No. Okay? I do Worcestershire sauce.
That's because you're from Odessa.
That's right.
That's the town trick. Is
Odessa
Worcestershire
style chili, spaghetti, tomato sauce, beef chunks, Worcestershire sauce, and of course honey drizzled.
Honey drizzle. No Cajun seasoning.
No Cajun seasoning.
None at all. Mirepoix, get your French ass out of here. We're not talking about that stuff. We're not talking about celery. We're not talking about carrots. Maybe if they were in your ass, as we are wont to do from time to time. No, that's not true. No, none of the money characters I have ever met have ever stuck carrots up their ass. That's a big Texas lie. I tell you that much.
Why would anyone do that?
Stick a carrot up their ass?
It's not the right size. I guess some of these new jumbo carrots.
Yeah, some of these new genetically engineered jumbo carrots, I suppose.
I'm so used to seeing stuff that's not genetically engineered that when I see one in the wild, I freak out. I'm like, what the fuck? So a goldfish these days? I got down my bag of goldfish, and it's like goldfish made with all ingredients genetically engineered. I'm like, what the fuck? They've gotten goldfish.
They've gotten to goldfish, which is the official snack of furries, because they're also animals. You'd think it would be animal crackers as well.
Crackers, but it's
no,
not.
but it's goldfish, actually, because they got the bidding war. They won the bidding war for the official furry snack.
I guess, what about Swedish fish? A close second?
They're popular in Sweden, of course. They're very popular with the Swedish furry community. You have a lot of herring-based furries up there. A lot of seafaring furries. A lot of caribou furries up there. You'd actually think furries would stick to their region-specific animals, but that's not true.
If that was true, then in Texas it'd all be heckin' armadillo furries.
Heckin' armadillos and rattlesnakes. And goddamn longhorns, But, the longhorns, there is actually a longhorn epidemic. There are not enough cow furries in Texas. I think because they're afraid they're going to get shot.
They're afraid they're going to come to a convention and then they're going to get eaten.
Yeah, absolutely. Get ground up into chunks like the ones that they've enjoyed in the past. I remember it was a goddamn bloodbath at the 2017 Fur Fiesta where we had a bunch of rustlers come in.
And all that tomato sauce?
All that tomato sauce was splattered all over the walls. They were making Texas spaghetti in our guts. They were playing around with our organs and such. But which is fine in Texas. That's what you do to cows before you slaughter a cow. Of course, you drape yourself in its organs and, like a feather boa and parade around town going, look at me, I'm Miss Fancy. I'm Miss Fancy.
You got to use the organs to predict the future.
That's, of course, that's Texas necromancy or Texromancy, as they call it.
Yeah. Well, they can tell you what's going to happen. I mean, everyone in Texas does this. Every time they kill a cow, it's called augury, I believe. Augurs.
Augury. Yeah.
So you mess around with the entrails, and then it tells you what's going to happen in the future.
It points you in the right direction.
And I'm working
That's-
on a really intricate furry costume of a cow being augured.
Okay, so the guts are going to be like in a tableau. They're
Well,
going to
you know
be
how
a
you said
mid-spill.
they were rearranging your guts on the inside?
Yeah.
They're going to rearrange my guts on the outside. That's my
All
ultimate.
right, cool.
This is my ultimate. Because you know that one manga about that one manga?
That one manga?
The manga.
Yeah, I read a lot of manga
You know
and
that-
anime.
You never read that one manga where...
I guess you could call me an otaku.
Sure. That one manga where that lady wants her head cut off right as she's climaxing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I've read that one.
I'm like that, but with the cow augury.
Oh, you want to be disemboweled.
Yeah.
You want to get a Candyman like hooking you
As a cow.
just as you're about to come.
Yeah,
as a cow.
As a cow. As a bull.
Will you go moo? Moo, you know, when the deed is done?
I'm working on my death monologue, actually.
Okay.
A series of sounds and snorts. And
But it'll be cute because you like lift the flap on your fursuit and all these little organs come out. And you could sew little happy faces on the plush organs as they're falling out of your body.
not to toot my own bullhorn, but it's gonna be
Yeah.
it's gonna be an amazing performance. I mean, stick around. It has to happen after 9 p.m. Obviously, because of the if we go back into the rules of Fur Fiesta, which I was going through before.
Yeah.
But
It gets a little blue after 9 p.m. is what you're saying. That's
the
when.
following is only permitted between the hours of 9 p.m. and 4 a.m. Latex,
Okay.
PVC, and neoprene form-fitting bodysuits, all of which I have to take use of in order to make this. It's a whole production.
Right. You need it outlining your junk. You need the outline of your junk in order to fulfill that.
Well, I gotta take. I mean, there's medications that I have to take that need a specific amount of time. Like there's certain medications you can take. I gotta be hooked up to like a blood transfusion because I am gonna use my own blood.
Okay, you're gonna use so this won't be plush blood. This won't be furry blood. This
No.
won't be
See,
this
what
won't be
I've done
fake
is
blood.
I've-
You're gonna.
I've pre-cut. I've a long slash down my belly and then sewed it back up myself. And when
You gave yourself a C-section, or as we call that in the furry community, an F-section.
right, and so when the
F is for furry, of course.
when the actor sweeps the hook down the belly of the fursuit, my own belly will then come open and all my blood and guts will come out.
Well, this sounds similar to a little ritual murder, and I think we should have a Big Texas Furry Convention that includes a little ritual murder.
Right.
That could be a little fun. That could be fun. It's what they did in Cats. Cats is a movie all about
Listen.
ritually murdering one of their own.
Jack, I don't mean to brag, but the one thing that furries need is a religion based on a self-sacrifice and martyr named Clint Lockbottom. And I'm here to provide and begin this new religion.
Are you saying, because I'm a very strict Methodist, I'm all about the method. And I have to say, it sounds like you're trying to become a false messiah here, Clint. I'm a little disturbed at what you're having to say.
Listen, don't be disturbed. Everything is normal. I took one antidepressant, and now I'm going to start my own religion by disemboweling myself in a hotel.
Okay, that sounds great, actually. I was worried, but then you reassured me. You said, don't worry. And I was like, all right, I can run with this. So, we're going to need some tenets for our Big Texas Furry religion. We're going to need some, I will, of course, be your Peter. I will spread the gospel, at first. And I doubted you as well. So I was like, who denied Jesus in the garden again? Who's the one that denied Jesus? Was it Peter?
It was Peter.
Peter denied Jesus. And I denied you. I denied your divinity.
And so you will twice
earlier.
more, or my word be not the Son of God.
Yeah. So you're the son of a big furry god, is what you're, a tiny furry, a big tiny squirrel furry.
You mean Dad? Oh, you mean Dad?
Dad? Oh, yeah. Big Texas tiny furry squirrel dad, yeah.
Yeah, you mean Dad, aka God.
Yeah, a.k.a. Big Texas Tiny Squirrely Furry Dad.
Yeah, aka all powerful, all knowing, all wise.
He's omniscient. He's got a big dick. He's got a big squirrel dick.
And
He's got an AR-15 sewn into his back.
You should see his costume. Okay.
When what is God's persona?
Right. God's persona.
He's a guy underneath there. We're made in his image. God is, of course, he's a panda.
That's
awesome. He loves pandas. Yeah. I
had to go silent for a second just thinking of God's persona.
You couldn't comprehend it with your mind, even though you are the son of him.
Humility is a necessary. You know what? Do you want to be the fucking martyr? Fine. I want to switch places.
Here's something I never understood. When Jesus said, "God, why have you forsaken me?" Why didn't he just said, "Me, why have I forsaken me?" Why didn't he just call out to him? He could have had the power any time.
Sounds like you're being a pronoun stickler. Okay,
I'm being.
No one likes the pronoun stickler.
No, that is true. We outlawed those at the furry conventions. No sticklerism here. In fact, we have no time for sticklers of any sort.
I mean, furries are some of the first people to endorse the mental concept of just rolling with whatever someone says they are. Like, if you're like, "Oh, I'm Tiny Squirrel Man now," they're just like, "Cool."
Well, there's a difference, of course, between the trans community and the furry community. We don't want to engage any parallels in there.
I'm talking about attitudes.
See, this is why I can't believe you're the Messiah, Clint. You are always drawing these parallels. You're drawing these negative parallels. With furries, it's about fantasy. There is a fantasy element, although for some people they take it a little further. It's actually a broad brush. I don't want to paint any furries with such a broad brush.
Well, see, this is the joke's on you, Jack, because it turns out I'm one of those Nazi furries.
No! Damn it! You
That's
see,
right.
you lied to me. You misrepresented yourself. Because usually those guys, they're dressed like German shepherds. You can easily identify the Nazi furs because they're dressed like the Nazi animals.
And that's actually my true persona. I lied to you.
I lied to you. No! Damn it! I hate you Shotzies, which is what we call the furry Nazis.
You guys got a slur for us?
Yeah, Shotzies.
That's kind of Nazi.
Wait, wasn't that the name of Hitler's dog? What was the name of Hitler? No, Hitler's dog was named Blondie.
If you're making slurs, then, you're one step away from joining us, so...
What? No, it's okay to call Nazis slurs. It's fine to call Nazi slurs. You can call a Nazi a half faggot if you want to. It's fine. They have stopped demonstrating. I'm digging a hole here. I'm not going to.
No, see, what you did is I dug myself a hole, and then I basically pulled you in.
There you go. Well, now we're part of a big Texas hole, which is the perfect place for our own furry convention. Having understood that you are a Nazi, here's what I'm going to say. Don't bring up politics. The great thing about being a furry is we can move beyond that, okay? We can, when you're in the fur space, when you enter the fur space, you leave your political persona at the door.
It's funny, on the furry convention rules, the rule basically covering if you're a Nazi is no armbands.
No armbands. What if I?
Okay, well, what if
I have my non-Nazi armband?
Yeah, what if I just believe in Nazism? Why don't they just ban Nazis? Because
you could just keep it in your head. Well, they ban armbands, but you could just have a swastika right on your fursuit, painted right on the chest of your fursuit, and there's nothing they can do about it.
That would be a symbol perceived as a hate symbol.
Right. Oh, that's a symbol perceived. What if has anyone ever tried to do the thing where they turn it slightly so it's the Buddhist swastika instead of the Nazi swastika, and they're like, what? This is a Buddhist symbol. I can get away with it. It's a Buddhist symbol.
Why don't like symbolless nihilists ever become like homicidal, genocidal maniacs? Why is it always like groups with ideologies?
Because nihilists, they're generally not motivated. Nothing matters. Even murder doesn't matter. Don't want to do any murder doesn't bug matter. You gotta believe in something. Everyone you gotta believe in yourself. Even a serial killer believes in themselves.
It's the Texas nihilist mumbling that murder don't matter. Nothing matters.
Murder don't matter.
Murder don't matter.
You can't do anything. Murder doesn't matter. They're Big Texas Big Texas Nihilist.
Big Texas Nihilist Convention.
Now we've instantly transitioned. We've stopped being the Big Furry Convention, and we're the Big Texas Nihilist Convention. My name now is Raven Dark Beef, and it symbolizes my love of chunks as well as my love of nihilism and my darkness that I have in my heart. What is your Big Texas Nihilist name, Clint Lockbottom?
I think it's Brandon, unfortunately.
Oh no, we don't care for Brandon here.
Yeah, Brandon Lee.
Are we both crow-themed nihilists?
Yeah, Brandon Lee Esteves. I'm one of the Esteves brothers.
You're one of the Esteves brothers.
Yeah, you know my brothers Charlie and Emilio.
I know your brothers, famous Hispanic actors, Charlie and Amelia.
And I'm the third one, Brandon Lee.
You're the third one, Brandon Lee. Were you named after the late Brandon Lee?
I was.
So when were you born?
Brandon
were you born after?
He was actually like a real role model for Charlie. You know him as Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
And my brother Emilio. We are half brothers. I do not. Martin Sheen is not my father, of course.
Oh, Martin Sheen is not your father. No. Your father is, of course, Hank Estevez.
Well, Esteves is our mother's
Hank
name.
Esteves
is our mother's name.
Right, that's right.
But my
father, because you're matrilineal. Emilio went matrilineal.
My father did take my mother's name because we're doing a matrilineal lineage type style.
Just like the Jews, who. Nihilists love Jews.
Yeah, and it's like you're choosing your playthrough style. Like you can be matrilineal or patrilineal when you're playing this life, which is a simulation,
Yeah, that's what we believe as nihilists, that life is a simulation.
No.
That's like the core tenet of nihilism, is that we're all in a simulation.
It's like the core belief which all of the different laws and rules and beliefs of nihilism flow forth from.
Yeah. All of the books and rules of nihilism is set forth. We, of course, have our Big Texas Library of Nihilism.
It's a huge library. It's the size of the Library of the Congressional Library of Honor. What's it called? The Library in Congress that stands before ye. It's even bigger than that, whatever that one's called. In D.C., where they're spending all our money on.
They're spending all our money on Brandons.
Our hard-earned money on other Brandons. I call them other Brandon.
Other Brandons, not the good type of Brandon, not you, not Brandon Lee, not the dear departed Brandon Lee, but rather the overspending Brandons, the giving all our money to goddamn Zelensky. Oh great, as a nihilism fan, I said I love Jews, but Zelensky, he's one Jew that I could.
Oh man, the Big Texas Nihilism Convention has
it's been canceled due to it's the Big Texas Furries again. We have canceled. We're more powerful than the Nihilism Convention, and we have canceled them for their rabid anti-Semitism. Clint Lockbottom, despite you being a Nazi fur, you got nothing against the Jews.
No, I'm just in Nazism for the fashion. I'm the one person who you can say that about. Ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha.
It's a very funny.
You're blameless. You just like fine leather suits.
I'm like David Bowie in terms of my beliefs. I'm a dumb blonde.
Of course, and David Bowie, who is huge in Texas. We love David Bowie in Texas. He's like the biggest guy here. When we, NASA. All of us in Houston at NASA, we were listening to Space Oddity, and we were crying. We were weeping because that was our lives. Right there, ground control to Major Tom. That was me. I was ground control, okay? And of course, he had a Nazi face, and he didn't have to apologize for it. He did, because he's a gentleman. He's a big Texas gentleman, like we expect here. But honestly, it's okay. It's okay to have a Nazi face, just as long as you don't hate the Jews. That's what we got to say. If Kanye had said he was a Nazi, but said the Jews were fine, he wouldn't be in this mess. He wouldn't have had to disappear for a while.
I want to get into astronaut politics.
You're gonna get into astroturf, is what you're saying.
Well, I'm just mad that Chris Hadfield, Canadian astronaut, had such a social media success, whereas no American astronaut has had such kind of similar social media success.
It's because they're all too goddamn real. They're all too goddamn aggressive. Yeah. We could have changed this with the furry astronauts, but unfortunately, the big Texas space station blew up,
and no one could figure out how to make uniforms that big.
No, it was too much fabric. That was the problem. We're just looking at the best furry haberdasher in the region.
So you know what I would do?
What would you do?
This is kind of maybe groundbreaking, but
all right,
I wouldn't try to make it just a bigger astronaut suit out and have it be put on top of the furry suit.
Mm-hmm.
I would just put ears and a tail on a normal astronaut suit.
Well, that's all you need, really. That's all you need to make it a little furry. Just a little ears and tail there.
And then problemo solved.
Yeah, there. You make your cat girl astronaut. You're a cat girl astronaut. That's like you always wanted to be. You can put a little Hello Kitty sticker on it. You can. Well, what if? Because you know how they make those tails that are also butt plugs.
Oh, love those.
Love those. Absolutely. You get double the use out of them. You get to feel something in your ass. Whether you're a Ukrainian furry and your asshole is made out of a black sun.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should stop accusing all Ukrainians of being Nazi.
That's your
Nazis.
thing. I'm the one.
Maybe that's my thing.
Them.
I guess you never went into that tangent.
Yeah.
Guess you never accused any of goddamn Ukrainians of being Nazis. That's all right. Well, it's because you sympathize with them. Because of course we've established that you are from Odessa.
That's correct. And I was I was under the influence of drugs during this episode, and so I cannot be taken to court.
That's a rule. If you were on drugs at the time, that's it. It completely is fine. That's why you go up to a cop anytime you see a cop and you're like driving a little weird.
Yeah,
and the cop comes up to you and says, "Sir, I cannot be charged with anything because I'm on drugs, and thus I am not mentally competent." I'm a lawyer, so you can take that advice. You can take it to the bank.
He just was like, "Carry on." It's really cool. It really works.
So what we're gonna do? I'm gonna try and look up some. Here's TripAdvisor.com. So we're talking about good time at the Texas Furry Fiesta. Some ratings from TripAdvisor here. If I can see all 6,719 reviews of the Big Texas Furry Fiesta. So a lot of satisfied customers, mostly 5 stars. Oh no, this is of the Hyatt Regency Dallas. These are reviews of the Hyatt Regency Dallas and not of the furry convention.
Well, I wish you could download
Here is
them.
one from Pony Wolf in Denver, Colorado. Nice, large, clean room. They allow pets. We enjoy getting in early and watch the hotel change from business to convention time. The hotel staff do get into the spirit of the convention, which is nice. The food is good. You'll hear trains if you face the tracks. That's a 5-star review. That's a 5-star review of the Big Texas Furry Convention.
What's the difference between the Texas Furry Fiesta and the Texas Furry Siesta?
The siesta happens in summer, and I think it's a little more mellow because it's hotter, and so the fursuits, they get pretty sweaty.
Well, they're in air-conditioned spaces.
Here we go. I attended the biggest furry convention in Texas. This is an article, March 10th, 2020, from some website called Central Track by Daniel Valdez. Let's read from this article. It's a study of us. What's it like to be studied by a journalist? And we have the answer right here. So what does Daniel Valdez say? Apparently all the photos in this article are by Carly May as well. Historically, LGBTQ gathering spots tend to be bars or increasingly sanitized pride events full of rainbow flags and parade floats that have come to be dominated by corporate bank sponsors at this point. At this point, we all know the drill. So you used at this point twice, Daniel Valdez. I don't know what this writing is.
Wow, criticizing the writing of the guy whose article we're stealing.
I'm a better writer. I can write better. I should have written this for a convention. I'm talking about, but under mainstream LGBTQ culture's nose, a new kind of queer experience has been brewing thanks to a subcommunity of sorts that owes a big debt of gratitude to the internet. I'm talking about furry conventions, which trade corporate culture for unapologetic weirdness. For the purposes of this article, furry refers to a community whose members are united by their interest in anthropomorphic characters, read animals with human traits. From Godzilla-inspired drag shows to Rocky Horror Picture Show screenings and collaborations with the wider Dallas-Fort Worth LGBTQ community at large, TFS has asserted itself as one of Dallas's safest spaces for queer expression. This is actually nice. This is quite nice. I like this article. Nothing was to be found in here. It's a very long article. But I suppose let's get a little serious right now, Clint. You know, it's been hard for the LGBTQ community in Texas. It's been real hard for them.
Well, it is so hot, and finding indoor spaces where they're not going to get really, 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 really hot, you know, like baking. Like you can, because there was an incident in 2002, legend, history, where an unfortunate young man, he was 23, baked to death in his own fursuit in Texas because they were not allowed into the Sheraton in Dallas. And he baked to death.
That's not funny. That's not funny. We're laughing because we are using gallows humor, which is popular with furries. You're using dark humor.
Well,
the dark
I'm
humor
a
that
nihilist. I got my nihilism was showing out.
Your Big Texas nihilism, of course.
That created a movement. And eventually we won acceptance into the Sheraton, where we hold the convention.
We're no longer out on the streets. We are in air-conditioned spaces. There's lots of spaces here. I'm on the Facebook page for the Texas Furry Fiesta. Hasn't got a lot of social media presence, I got to say. Not a lot of comments.
Well, that just
I think people just attend.
It just invites trolls.
Yeah. You don't want that too much. But, you know, I'm glad that we're creating a safe space for the LGBT community. But actually, you know, that's bad for me, Jack Sutherman, and for you, Clint Lockbottom, because we're actually very homophobic. You know, you're a Nazi fur. I'm just a regular old Methodist fur.
Well, no, I said I was only in it for the fashion. Come on.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But, you know, do you like the guys? Do you like the guys?
Of course.
Or the lesbians?
Yeah.
Or trans people? You like them all? Okay. Well, a feature of my character, Jack Sutherman, that you may not have expected, given my talk of acceptance earlier in this episode, but I'm actually a virulent homophobe and transphobe. And, you know, I think that's why we need a big straight. Like, we need a heterosexual furry convention, you know, to do away with all this pride flag, to the rainbow people nonsense. You know, pride, you know, what happened to straight pride? You know, pride, can't have that anymore. You know, pride, that's for a lion. Well, you know, listen, Jack, which is, you know, no lions are invited at our furry convention.
How can you tell, sir, the color of someone's skin underneath a fursuit? How can you
can't tell the color of the skin. You can tell if they're gay or not, but whether they're coming on you.
How can you tell? You cannot tell, sir.
If they're like, I want to suck your duck dick, but they're not in a female furry costume.
Well, they're probably not even in a duck costume.
Pardon?
I said they're probably not even in a duck costume.
Oh, no, they're not even coming at you with your own, you know. I don't believe in furry miscegenation either. You know, ducks with ducks. Wolves will wolves.
I mean, listen, we know that sometimes genetic abnormalities can happen, but many furries.
Are you referring to the Zootopia abortion comic?
Of course, which I've read recently because
We've
told
all
me
read
about
the
it.
Zootopia abortion comic. We've all read it. It's a beautiful, and it squares with my beliefs as a Methodist as well.
You're pro-life.
I'm pro-life. Absolutely. Furries are all about life.
Even when it's like a genetic abnormality cross between a rabbit and a fox.
Hey, God put that baby into her. It was God we've established as a furry. We've established, that you are the son of. You put that baby into Judy Hopps, and you were like, let it grow.
That is true. The implied aspect of the Zootopia abortion cartoon is that God is a furry, right?
Absolutely, yeah, because they live in a world where everyone's anthros. Obviously, you get to heaven, you're greeted by a big furry God and his big furry belly, and you're dancing on his big furry belly, like so many angels on the head of a pin.
That's beautiful. Or wait, why would angels dance on the head of a pin?
Because that's the hot spot. That's the nightclub. It's called the Pin, and it's called the Pin because that's actually a Texas synonym for a penis. Because the angels are gay, but that would mean heaven is gay. Oh no! Oh no! I just realized that furry God is LGBTQ+. I just realized that. So that must mean Clint, as the son of God, and because LGBTQ plusness is a genetically inheritable trait, as far as I know, that must mean you. You are the one. What do you have to say about that? What do you have to say for yourself, Clint?
I'm a classic triple agent. So you thought at first I was a Southern Texas furry. Then you thought I was the Messiah. Then you thought I was a nihilist anti-Semite or something like that.
Something like that.
But actually, I'm a triple eight. Is that 4? I'm a quadruple.
4. You're a quadruple agent, I believe, because you're a quadruped in your persona, so you're a quadruple agent.
I am not going to endorse making fun of the disabled. We can't add too many.
Oh, you were gonna make a quadriplegia joke? Look, I might hate the gays, but I love the wheelchair folks. I'm gonna put that out there right now.
We stand up for the disabled. My character is not a quadriplegic furry. Although I
said a quadruped, not a quadriplegic. You are 4-legged.
Oh,
are squirrels 2-legged? Are they duopeds?
Yeah, no, they walk around on their just 2 feet all the time, like little humans, like little human beings.
That's why you so identified with them in the first place.
Wouldn't that be odd if all the animals started walking around like little human beings?
Yeah, I think that would be odd, and I think you can get a little of that at the Big Texas Furry Convention. No gays.
That's not true. Don't say that. We accept everyone here, even the nihilists.
Yeah, by gays we mean the pejorative. So lame. If you're lame,
we still say
except
that
for people that are lame, they're accepted because they're disabled. And we like disabled people.
Oh yeah. You shouldn't say lame.
You shouldn't say lame.
I guess you shouldn't say lame
as a synonym for the disabled. No,
damn,
I don't like that.
The one thing we're passionate about social justice for, it just sort of snuck up and bit us on the ass.
It just the one thing we care about. You bother to care about one thing. And then you use an epithet that you didn't even know was some sort of epithet. And you're done. You're like Lydia Tarr. You're out on your ass like goddamn Tar, which was my favorite movie of last year.
And now 5 minutes about Tar.
What did you think about Tar?
We already talked about it, but you just watched it, and I thought
I just watched Tar.
I thought it was good. I like it. I thought it was the sequel to the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. Because I thought it was the same.
Because Todd Fields is the same guy as the Joker guy.
I thought that Todd Fields was the same guy that directed Joker, but that was the guy named Matt? Some other guy.
It was Matt. Yeah, but Matt Hanks.
I kept on thinking Tar was like, I was like, dude, this is totally the sequel to Joker.
Yeah, this is like when Joker... what if Joker was a lesbian? and a conductor.
But then I was like, hey, this seems like way smarter than Joker. Like, I don't even understand what these.
I love the scene where Tar is going down the steps while Gary Glitter is playing, and she's doing rock and roll part too.
It kind of happens like that. I mean, but I was like, this movie's way too smart for me. I don't even know.
It's not that. It's the point is that Tar is always aggrandizing herself. She's always saying things to make it seem like she's better than she actually is, and she needs to hide behind that veil of pretension in order to cover up her more racy and naughty instincts. By naughty, of course, we mean sexual assault, driving one person to suicide eventually. It's a pretty dark story. Pretty dark, Tar.
It is dark. It is dark. That's why I thought it was like Joker, because Joker is so dark.
That's because it's similarly dark.
Yeah, but honestly, just watch Joker. It's the same movie.
It's the same movie, yeah.
It's about a dude who's right.
Yeah, and he's not gay either. You know, he's
a not gay dude who's correct about the world.
He's absolutely. And what he's the number one guy. He's the smartest guy.
The number one smartest guy in the world, and what you should do is what he does.
Yeah, you should absolutely. You should find the nearest staircase, and you should dance down it, listening to Gary Glitter or any other famously pedophile.
Yeah, like Mahler,
rock and roll musician.
Mahler was.
Mahler, famous pedophile.
And that
Mahler
gets us back into Tar.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love it when she's walking down the stairs dancing to Mahler.
Yeah. She's got clown makeup on. She looks like the damn Joker. And that brings us back to Joker.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how these movies all come together.
Yeah, because they're all dancing down staircases.
Yeah, that's one of the big themes. You know, it goes all the way back to the Odessa steps. You know, like you say you're from Odessa, Texas.
Odessa steps.
Ukraine.
Is this
the battleship Potemkin?
This is the Eisenstein.
Yeah,
movie.
the Eisenstein.
Sergei Eisenstein.
From
Russia. The first montage, of course, Alexander Nevsky with the coins falling. Beautiful.
Who doesn't love a little Russian cinema? I'll tell you who loved it. Those Russian characters whose names I forget that we introduced earlier in this episode.
Vlad and Igor.
Vlad and Igor, of course. Igor was Ukrainian. I forget their name. What was he? Vlad Suxadix?
Suxalov and Dixon Butzov.
There you go. Mm-hmm. There you go. He sucks all off, which doesn't make any. He sucks all off. I have Vlad. Yeah, no, okay. I'm getting back into it. Yeah, I suck all off. You take all. Bring all to me. I suck all off. I think there would be a big satisfaction in sucking off a big room of people and like completing the room. You know,
like it's a video game.
Yeah, you gotta you 100% the furry room by sucking everyone off there.
Okay.
We've abandoned this
I abandoned
the
my
improv
guy halfway through, and I stopped being able to do an accent. So
I know, I sensed that, but I kept soldiering through. I was still in the character. I was still feeling the emotions.
We did it.
The ride of Jack Southern Man.
This is thank you for coming on this ride with us, listeners, dear listeners. If you want more of our special brand of humor, go to patreon.com/House of Decline, and for $5 you get a bonus episode every week in addition to the normal free episode that we put out, and you get an extra comic every day
if you sign up. If you pay us money,
you get 2 free episodes. It's 2 for 3 with 1 extra comic a day.
Hell yeah.
And
that's a great
2
deal.
2 plus 3 is 5. That's how we came to the numbers.
That's a big Texas deal. Yeah.